Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Today we'll recap Monday Night Football and the NBA from last night. And then same for NHL and soccer. We had everything today. Same for college basketball. We have college football tonight as well. And I'll give out my predictions for the election. And then news and notes and best bet. All right, we'll start with Monday Night Football. It was actually a better game than I was expecting it to be. But the Chiefs, of course, come out on top by a score of 30-24 in overtime. Chiefs are 8-0. Tampa is 4-5. Patrick Mahomes 34-44, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, so he played a clean game. Baker Mayfield 23-31, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So Tampa deserves a lot of credit for hanging in that game with the Chiefs. But the big mistake was Todd Bowles didn't go for 2. He should have went for 2. And who knows, maybe they win in regulation and pull off the big upset. But yeah, that was my only issue with that game. But the Chiefs, yet again, survive. All right, now move on to the NBA. We will go over the results from last night. We have no games today because of Election Day. Cavs over the Bucks, 116-114. Warriors over the Wizards, 125-112. Pistons over the Lakers, 115-103. Celtics over the Hawks, 123-93. Nets over the Grizzlies, 106-104. Kings over the Heat, 111-110. Jazz over the Bulls, 135-126. Rockets over the Knicks, 109-97. T-Wolves over the Hornets, 114-93. Thunder over the Magic, 102-86. Blazers over the Pelicans, 118-110. Pacers over the Mavericks, 134-127. Nuggets over the Raptors, 121-119. Suns over the Sixers, 118-116. And the Clippers over the Spurs, 113-104. Alrighty. So like I said earlier, no games tonight. Hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's slate. Kings over the Predators, 3-0. Devils over the Oilers, 3-0. Busy slate tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Senators at the Sabres. I'll be right there with the lines. Sabres minus 11, Sens minus way, over under 6.5, overs plus 110, unders minus 134. Sens plus 1.5, it's minus 65. Sabres minus 1.5, plus 210. I like the Senators as a road dog, minus 108. Bruins, Leafs. Leafs minus 146. Bruins plus 122. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 215. Leafs minus 1.5 plus 172. We'll go with the under at plus money. Flames, Habs. Flames minus 128. Habs plus 106. Over under 6.5. Minus 110 each way. Flames minus 1.5 plus 188. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 225. We'll go with the under. I don't trust the Habs enough to score. Flyers, Canes. Canes minus 300. Flyers plus 240. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 108. Canes minus 1.5 minus 112. The Flyers are off to a bad start this year. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Carolina. 7:30, Penguins, Islanders. Isles minus 132. Pens plus 110. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 116. Unders minus 142. Pens plus 1.5 is minus 245. Isles minus 1.5 plus 194. That's a hard one. The Islanders have weirdly been an over team this year, so we'll go over 6.5 at plus 116. 8 o'clock, Lightning, Blues. Lightning minus 162. Blues plus 134. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Bolts minus 1.5 plus 152. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 188. I'm going to go with the over at plus money. Kings, Wild. Wild minus 164. Kings plus 136. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 114. Unders minus 140. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 188. Wild minus 1.5 plus 152. I'll go with the upset. I'm going to take the Kings at plus 136. Utah, Jets. Jets minus 200. Utah plus 164. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 110. Unders minus 134. Utah plus 1.5 is minus 52. Jets minus 1.5 plus 124. The Jets finally lost the game. And they're on fire. I'm going to lay the -1.5 at plus 124. 9 o'clock, Kraken Avs. Avs -184, Kraken plus 152, over under 6.5. Overs -104, unders -118. Kraken plus 1.5 is -64. Avs -1.5 plus 134. The Kraken are an enticing outright underdog, but I'm going to go over 6.5 at -104. 10 o'clock, Canucks Ducks. Canucks -10, Ducks plus 172, over under 6.5. Overs plus 112, unders -138. Canucks -1.5 plus 170, Ducks plus 1.5 is -48. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Vancouver. They're just better. Although the Ducks are off to a respectable-ish start by their standards. 10:30, Blue Jackets Sharks. Oof. This is a toilet bowl game. Columbus -132, Sharks plus 110, over under 6.5. Overs -105, unders -115. Columbus -1.5 plus 180, Sharks plus 1.5 is -225. I'm going to go with the over at -105. All right, now move on to soccer. We have some results to go over, and then we have today. I think, have Champions League today. That's fun. All right, La Liga from yesterday. Celta Vigo over Getafe 1-0. Premier League, Fulham over Brentford 2-1. Serie A, Empoli over Como 1-0. Genoa over Parma 1-0. Lazio over Cagliari 2-1. I believe we have Dutch Eredivisie today. No. We have something. Oh, Liga MX. All right, 8 o'clock, Lyon and Mazatlan. Just pulling up real quick. Leon -125, Mazatlan plus 290, draw plus 280. Go draw plus 280. Santos and Guadalajara. Guadalajara -185, Santos plus 420, draw plus 330. We're going over 3.5 goals plus 158. And 10 o'clock, Unam Querétaro. Unam -90, Querétaro plus 650, draw plus 380. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at -106. All right, ELC today we have a handful of games. 2:45, Bristol City and Sheffield United. Sheffield plus 130, Bristol plus 210, draw plus 230. I'm going Sheffield plus 130. Oxford United Hull. Hull plus 140, Oxford plus 180, draw plus 240. I'm going to go with the draw plus 240. QPR Borough. Borough even money, QPR plus 260, draw plus 250. We'll go Borough at even money. Sheffield Wednesday Norwich City. Sheffield plus 120, Norwich plus 230, draw plus 230. We'll go Sheffield plus 120. 3 o'clock, Plymouth Portsmouth. Plymouth plus 130, Portsmouth plus 190, draw plus 240. I'm going to go with the draw plus 240. And Swansea Watford. Swansea -120, Watford plus 280, draw plus 260. We'll go with Watford for the minor upset at plus 280. And then we had a first round English FA Cup yesterday. Lincoln City for Chesham United 4-0. Is the Pro League playing today? I know somebody weird is. I guess not. There's no MLS or anything to the weekend, so we'll go to Champions League. League phase today. Handful of games. 12:45. You have Dynamo Zagreb and Slovan Bratislava. Dynamo -105, Bratislava plus 280, draw plus 270. Dynamo's the better team. I'm going to go with them at -105. And all the games are on Paramount Plus. PSV Girona. PSV -130, Girona plus 320. The draw is 3-1. PSV should win. I'm going to go with Over 3.5 goals plus 148. 3 o'clock, Liverpool, Leverkusen. Liverpool minus 120, Leverkusen's 3-1. The draw's plus 290. We'll go with over 3.5 goals at plus 142. Next up, Celtic, RP, Leipzig. Celtic plus 165, Leipzig plus 150, draw plus 260. Celtic is a team to me that doesn't really show up in these kind of games. Leipzig plus 150. I feel like they show up in their league, but not Champions League. All right, CBS Sports Network, Juventus, Lille. Juventus plus 145, Lille 2-1. The draw's plus 220. Go ahead, Juventus on the road plus 145. Sporting, Man City. Man City plus 105, Sporting plus 230, draw plus 280. I have to go with Man City plus 105. I know Sporting's been hot. I get it. Man City's better. Real Madrid, Milan. Real Madrid minus 250, Milan 6-1. The draw's plus 410. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals plus 110. Dortmund, Sturm Dortmund minus 550, Sturm is 13-1. The draw is 6-1. Over 6.5 minus 116. And last but not least, Bologna, Monaco. Each team is plus 165. The draw is plus 230. That's an auto draw for me at plus 230. All right, now move on to college basketball. We'll go over opening night, and then we will look ahead to the small window for tonight. And I'm just going to involve games that involve Division 1 versus Division 1. Charleston over Southern Illinois, 90-80. Santa Clara over St. Louis, 85-78. Stanford over Denver, 85-62. Harvard over Marist, 79-66. Liberty over Valparaiso, 83-63. Temple over Sacred Heart, 81-70. Number 14, Purdue over Texas A&M Corpus Christi, 90-73. South Dakota State over McNeese, 80-73. Bucknell over Delaware, 85-73. Miami of Ohio over App State, 77-63. St. John's over Fordham, 92-60. Butler over Missouri State, 72-65. Number 7, Duke over Maine, 96-62. Number 12, Tennessee over Gardner-Webb, 80-64. UCF upsets number 13, Texas A&M, 64-61. Number 20, Cincinnati over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 109-54. Number 23, Kentucky over Wright State, 103-62. UNC Greensboro over Florida Gulf Coast, 73-64. Columbia over Loyola Maryland, 81-78. Penn over NJIT, 58-57. Michigan State over Monmouth, 81-57. Coastal Carolina over Western Michigan, 60-56. Troy over Toledo, 84-74. James Madison over Ohio, 88-78. Georgia Southern over Northern Illinois, 80-65. Buffalo over Old Dominion, 83-82. Georgia State over Ball State, 71-66. Siena over Brown, 72-71 in overtime. St. Bonaventure over Cal State Northridge, 70-56. NC State over SC Upstate, 97-66. UMass over New Hampshire, 103-74. Dayton over St. Francis, 87-57. George Mason over NC Central, 75-58. Pitt over Radford, 96-56. Miami over Fairleigh Dickinson, 113-72. Florida State over Northern Kentucky, 74-62. Providence over Central Connecticut, 59-55. North Florida over South Carolina, 74-71. Manhattan in Maryland. So Maryland wins that one, 79-49. West Virginia over Robert Morris, 87-59. Syracuse over Lemoyne, 86-82. Princeton over Iona, 81-80. Louisville over Morehead State, 93-45. Clemson over Charleston Southern, 91-64. VC over Bellarmine, 84-65. St. Joe's over Navy, 70-63. LaSalle over American, 65-52. FA over Indiana State, 97-64. Vermont over UAB, 67-62. Northeastern over BU, 80-72. Xavier over Texas Southern, 78-69. Seton Hall over St. Peter's, 57-53. That was a lot closer than I thought. Penn State over Binghamton, 108-66. Mississippi State over West Georgia, 95-60. Georgia over Tennessee Tech, 83-78. Number 1, Kansas over Howard, 87-57. Number 4, Houston over Jackson State, 97-40. Number 5, Iowa State over Mississippi Valley State, 83-44. Vanderbilt over Maryland Eastern, 102-63. Tennessee Martin over Illinois State, 67-65. Bradley over Southeast Missouri State, 88-60. Wichita State over Western Kentucky, 91-84. Army over Albany, 67-59. Yale over Quinnipiac, 88-62. Kent State over Louisiana, 70-66. Texas State over Eastern Michigan, 64-44. Central Michigan over South Alabama, 74-70. Southern Miss over Bowling Green, 77-68. Akron loses to Arkansas State, 80-75 in overtime. Charlotte over Presbyterian, 88-79. Rhode Island over Fairfield, 96-58. George Washington over Mercyhurst, 76-59. Northern Iowa over... Oh, I thought that said Duquesne. It's Dubuque, 96-54. Villanova over Lafayette, 75-63. DePaul over Southern Indiana, 80-78 in overtime. Wisconsin over Holy Cross, 85-61. Northwestern over Lehigh, 90-46. Iowa over A&M Commerce, 89-67. Memphis over Missouri, 83-75. Lipscomb over Duquesne, 77-72. Nebraska over Texas Rio Grande, 87-67. Michigan over Cleveland State, 101-53. Illinois over Eastern Illinois, 112-67. TCU over Florida A&M, 105-59. Va-Tech over Delaware State, 83-60. BC over the Citadel, 69-60. Wake over Coppin State, 64-49. Number 18, Marquette over Stony Brook, 102-62. Number 21, Florida over South Florida, 98-83. Number 24, Ole Miss over Long Island, 90-60. Loyola Chicago over Chicago State, 79-72. SMU over Tarleton State, 96-62. Number 2, Alabama over UNC Asheville, 110-54. Number 9, North Carolina over Elon, 98-76. Oklahoma over Lindenwood, 93-60. Grand Canyon over Fullerton, 89-79. New Mexico over Nichols, 91-84. South Dakota over Southern, 93-79. Utah over Alcorn State, 100-59. Oklahoma State over Green Bay, 89-76. Colorado over Eastern Washington, 76-56. Colorado State over North Dakota, 82-56. North Alabama over Air Force, 73-57. Number 10, Arizona over Canisius, 93-64. Ohio State over number 19, Texas, 80-72 in Vegas. Oregon State over Utah Tech, 80-57. St. Mary's over Towson, 76-69. Western Illinois over San Jose State, 59-55. Nevada over Sam Houston, 95-75. USC over Chattanooga, 77-57. Cal Baptist over Incarnate Word, 83-78. Number 22, UCLA over Rider, 85-50. Oregon over UC Riverside, 91-76. Washington State over Portland State. Washington State over Portland State, 192. Number 6, Gonzaga over number 8, Baylor, 101-63. UNLV over Alabama State, 93-79. Cal over Bakersfield, 86-73. Now we'll look at the window for tonight. Not big at all. All right, FIU Rice. I just did lines, not totals. I have Rice by 9. And it is 6.5 and 1 for 8.5. I'll lay the 6.5 with Rice. We can skip New York, Canton, Colgate, Tacoma Falls, Kennesaw State. All right, 8 o'clock, Evansville, North Texas. I have North Texas by 18. It's 13.5, 132.5. I'll lay the points. Bethune, Texas Tech. I have Tech by a whopping 54.5, and it's 29.5, 143.5. I'm laying the points there too. New Orleans, Kansas State. I have Kansas State 44.5, and it's 26.5, 146.5. Laying the points. Nine o'clock, Idaho State, Arizona State. I have Arizona State 34.5, 19.5, 139.5. Laying the points. Next is Central Arkansas BYU. So a lot of Big 12 home games tonight. I have BYU by whopping 54. It's 29.5, 149.5. I'm laying the points. 10 o'clock, Cal Poly, San Francisco. I have San Francisco by 29. It's 22.5, 149.5. Again, laying the points. Cal Maritime and Sac State we could skip, and then on Big Ten Network, it's like UC Davis, Washington. I have Washington by 21, and it's 13.5, 144.5, and then laying the points with Washington. All right, college football tonight. We do have a couple of games tonight. The return of Maction. After for several weeks, about a month, it was Conference USA being in that Tuesday, Wednesday spots. Now it's Maction. 7:30 ESPN2, Bowling Green, Central Michigan. By the way, college football playoff rankings tonight as well, so that should be interesting. My projection, Central by 1, total 54 in a fifth, and it is Bowling Green by a whopping 13.5, totals 48.5. I'm taking Central Michigan in the points. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then 8 o'clock on ESPN, Miami of Ohio, Ball State. I have Miami of Ohio by 3, total 54 in a tenth, and it is 12.5 and 47.5. I'm taking Ball State in the points. All right. Election day is today. Usually I like to do my predictions of the electoral map. So what I'm going to do is go state by state in alphabetical order, talk about how many electoral votes each state has, and predict the candidate that's going to win each state. All right, let's start with Alabama. They have 9 electoral votes. I think Donald Trump is going to win Alabama. Alaska has 3 electoral votes. I think Trump wins Alaska. All right, after Alaska is Arizona, one of the states that I think is going to decide this race. It's a pivotal state. And that's also a state, let's not forget, where a Republican mayor actually came out and said that he was voting for Kamala Harris. But I think the those suburbs will outdo the cities. I think Donald wins Arizona. That's 11. Arkansas has 6 electoral votes. I think Trump will win that. California has 54. That's a Kamala state. That state's always blue. So Kamala, I think, wins California. Colorado, 10 electoral votes. That's been a blue state the last several elections. So I'm going to say Kamala wins Colorado. Connecticut, 7 electoral votes. I'm going to say Harris wins Connecticut. Delaware has 3 electoral votes. I think Harris wins Delaware, and plus, that's Joe Biden's home state. Not that that matters, but and plus Delaware's usually a blue state, so I think Delaware will be blue. Florida, 30 electoral votes. This is a big one. This is a state that I think Trump has to have, and I think he'll get it. Georgia, 16 electoral votes. This was one of them 4 years ago that was up in the air, and ultimately Biden won that state. I think Trump wins Georgia. I could be wrong about that, but that would be my guess. Hawaii has 4 electoral votes. I think Harris wins Hawaii. Idaho, 4 electoral votes. That's Green's Donald Trump. Illinois, 19 electoral votes. Traditionally a blue state with Chicago in there. Harris will win Illinois, I think. Indiana, 11 votes. I think Donald Trump wins Indiana. Iowa has 6. I'm going to say that's Trump. Kansas has 6. I think Trump wins that as well. Kentucky's a big one. That has 8. They have a Democratic governor, but that's usually a red state. So I'm going to say Trump wins Kentucky. Louisiana, 8 electoral votes. That's going to be Donald Trump for sure, I think. Unless if New Orleans and Shreveport and some of these big cities really come through with blue. Maine. Maine's a tricky state because that's one that tends to split electoral votes. There's another state like this as well. I'm going to say they each split an electoral vote in Maine. Maryland. 10 electoral votes. I think Kamala wins Maryland. That'd be my guess. It's D.C. right there. And D.C. we'll get to eventually as well. Most Baltimore lingers there. Massachusetts, I think, is a no-brainer for Harris. Boston. Michigan. This is one that's, I think, going to swing it. So you have your Detroits, and you have some of the other big cities in Michigan. I think that Trump has worked his butt off in Michigan. I think he gets it. But barely. I think that's going to be a big one. Minnesota's another one I think could go either way. But I think the Tim Walz connection, I think, is what I think will get Kamala Minnesota. And that's 10 electoral votes, by the way. Michigan's 15. Mississippi, 6 electoral votes. That's usually a red state, so I'm going to say Trump. Missouri, 10 electoral votes. You have some big cities in there, St. Louis, Kansas City. But I'm going to say Trump wins Missouri. Montana, 4 electoral votes. That's going to be Trump. Nebraska. This is a weird split one. And I'm going to say they each split 1 Nebraska. Next is Nevada. That's another swing state. 6 electoral votes. That's been a blue state the past several years. But I think when Trump won in 2016, he won Nevada. But I could be wrong. But I think Harris will win Nevada. New Hampshire. And by the way, Nevada 6 electoral votes. New Hampshire is 4. Those Northeast states usually are blue. So I'm going to say Harris wins New Hampshire. Jersey, 14 electoral votes. There is talk that could flip the red. But I need to see it to believe it because of areas like Trenton, Newark, Camden, and some of those other big cities. I'm going to say Harris wins New Jersey. New Mexico, 5 electoral votes. I think Harris wins that one. New York, 28 electoral votes. That's always a blue state, so I think Harris will win New York. North Carolina's a flip one. 16 electoral votes, obviously, with the big hurricane affecting a lot of that western North Carolina area. North Carolina has 16 electoral votes. This is another interesting flip one. I'm going to say Harris wins North Carolina, but I don't feel good about it. North Dakota, 3 electoral votes. That's going to be Trump. I feel confident in that. Ohio, 17 electoral votes. This one I feel confident about. The J.D. Vance connection, and that's traditionally a red state, despite some big cities like Cleveland and Cincinnati and Columbus. I think Trump will win Ohio. Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes. I'm going to say that will be Donald Trump as well. Oregon, 8 electoral votes. I think this is Harris. I think Portland and some of the suburbs of Portland will decide that. Pennsylvania, I think, is the biggest state in the election in terms of how this can go. As well as, obviously, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. And you could even make a case for Nevada. 19 electoral votes. Trump won Pennsylvania in 2016. I think this state's a must for both candidates. In a weird way. And I think there's paths for either candidate to win without winning Pennsylvania. I think what this comes down to, obviously, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Bucks County, traditionally a red county, was a blue county in 2020. I think, which is what decided Pennsylvania. And some of the election, for that matter, helped decide the election. I'm going to say Harris wins Pennsylvania, but I don't feel good about it because of the suburbs. I get that Hershey Park area, Lancaster, Pocono area. All right, Rhode Island. 4 electoral votes. I'm going to say Harris wins that. The Providence area. South Carolina, 9 electoral votes. I'm going to say Trump wins South Carolina. South Dakota, 3 electoral votes. That's going to be Trump. Tennessee, 11 electoral votes. This is a big state secretly. You have some big cities like Memphis and Nashville and Knoxville, but I think Trump will win that. Texas. There's talks about Texas flipping. If Texas flips, I think Trump's in trouble. But I think that Texas will go to Trump. Utah, 6 electoral votes. I'm going to say Trump wins Utah. Vermont, 3 electoral votes. I'm going to say Harris. Virginia, 13 electoral votes. I'm going to say Harris wins Virginia because of Richmond and Halifax and some of those cities there for big turnouts. Washington, 12 electoral votes. Because of big presence in Seattle, I think Harris wins that. West Virginia, 4 electoral votes. That's going to be Trump. That's a very Republican-heavy state. Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes. You have Madison. You have Milwaukee. But a ton of suburban areas. I think Trump will win Wisconsin. And I think he's done a great job campaigning there. And in Wyoming, 3 electoral votes, I'm going to say that's Trump. So, after I did my map, I came out to, and by the way, you need 270 to win, as you know. Donald Trump, 271. Kamala Harris, 267. So, therefore, I think Donald Trump barely wins the 2024 presidential election. All right, now I'll move on to the news and notes for today. So, the NFL trade deadline is today. the Lions are acquiring Zadarius Smith from the Browns as the trade is sending 2025 5th and 6th round picks to the Browns for Smith and a 2026 7th rounder. I think that's a good trade for Lions. It helps makes up for the loss of Aiden Hutchinson. With Smith having a good year this year. The Bengals acquired Khalil Herbert from the Bears for a 7th rounder. I think that's a great trade for Cincy. I think Herbert's an upgrade over Chase Brown and Zach Moss. Obviously not as good as Joe Mixon, though. David Njoku trade, highly unlikely as they view him as a part of a long-term future. Saints interim head coach Darren Rizzi says that everything's got to be reevaluated, open to making changes. So, the Cardinals acquire Baron Browning from the Broncos for a 6th rounder. That's a nice trade for Arizona. And the Broncos actually pay Jonathan Cooper 4 years, $60 million, $33 million guaranteed. Some World Series aftermath stuff. Joe Kelly says that the Yankees were among the worst teams in the playoffs. Based on how they played in Game 5 in the top of the 5th inning, yeah. But from a fundamental standpoint, they probably were. But I understand where he's coming from. A weak American League. No Astros, no Orioles, no Red Sox to challenge, no Rays. And Aaron Boone's, I feel like he hasn't beat a non-AL Central team. I need to think about that, but we don't have time. Qualifying offers extended to Juan Soto, Teoscar Hernandez, among others. Dave Roberts did not want a Game 6 as he reveals publicly what he was thinking after the Yankees won Game 4. Ooh. And good news for the Yankees, Garrett Cole is staying as he's to remain with the Yanks on the 4-year, $144 million deal that he opted out of. So good job on the Yankees for getting that done. So one more goal for them. Is that they have to sign Juan Soto long term. And oh, by the way, I messed up a tiny bit with the electoral map predictions. Nebraska has 3 electoral votes, and I have 2 of them going to Trump and 1 of them going to Harris. That's where the 271, 267 comes from. Jason Kelsey apologizes for altercation with the fan before the Ohio State-Penn State game on Saturday. Probably the right thing to do. Steph Curry's coming back tonight against, or came back last night against the Wizards, so that's good. There's a flex in the schedule for Week 11, the NFL. Bengals Chargers move to Sunday Night Football. Colts Jets move to 1 o'clock. Nathan Eovaldi declines option as the Rangers have great interest in bringing him back. The Astros acquired Taylor Trammell from the Yankees. Travis d'Arnaud is a free agent. The Braves are bringing back Marcell Ozuna as they pick up his $60 million option. CeeDee Lamb's injury is not considered serious. Could play on Sunday against the Eagles. How about this? Dak Prescott to miss multiple weeks with the hamstring injury. Worse than initially feared. Wow. So, Cooper Rush is going to be starting at quarterback for the Cowboys. Quandre Diggs out for the season with a Liz Frank injury. That's not good for Tennessee. Not that maybe they're potentially looking to trade him. Christian McCaffrey apparently coming back to practice this week and can make his debut on Sunday against the Bucks. The NBA is investigating Joel Embiid as the league is looking to reported confrontation between Embiid and local columnists. The Knicks signed sharpshooter Matt Ryan, shot over 45% from 3 last year. And Sargent is out for U.S. men's national team against Jamaica in St. Louis. So there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So, best bet. I lost yesterday. I laid the points with the Chiefs. So, I am going to go to college football. And I'm going to take Central Michigan plus 13.5 against Bowling Green. That is way too high. I'm going to lay a 20th of a unit on it. That's how good I feel about it. So Central Michigan plus the 13.5 against Bowling Green. That's going to be my best bet for the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We got everything tomorrow. And we'll talk election, obviously, as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.